Welcome to Dubai, and Yuri Zun is sitting here next to me at their beautiful office in Jumeirah Lake Towers. We're going to be exploring the Lilium Pioneer Jet. Yuri, you had a very long and illustrious career in business aviation already. I think I saw you started in August of 2010, according to your LinkedIn profile.
Kind of.
Maybe you want to tell us a little bit about your career so far and what you're doing now.
It's quite exciting career, I would say, in general. First of all, just thank you so much for coming to our office and to find your time. It's a pleasure, and I'm happy, it's like with your. Sounds very interesting concept what you're doing with the different videos and vlogs.
Thank you.
Something looks like very exciting.
Thank you for having
me. With the about my career, I started as a charter broker back I think 2009, even 2010, which I like because it provides you the literally feeling of the business aviation from A to Z with different missions, and we were a great team. And with the, let's say, missions from the short flights in Europe towards the, let's say, long flights like we used to fly from Moscow to Santiago de Chile,
long way,
Ushuaia, London with 7X, one of the first 7X. So it was a lot of nice, stories and nice experiences, I would say, of working there. And then slowly and surely I was growing inside of the business aviation, and having also the degree of MBA Aviation Management in Italy, Rome, 2014, 15.
And you live in Italy now?
Right now for the recent 10 years.
That's home?
Yeah, that's home. Okay. Northern Italy, Bergamo.
Very nice.
I would say. Jeff, may I ask you also maybe a few questions? I would say, how you ended up with the video, like very in today?
Actually, so when I was a corporate jet investor just a few months ago, I listened to Johnny Dodge, who was talking about how to engage.
You can say hi him.
Hi Johnny. How to engage with different customers, and actually it really resonated with me. I think the content that's created today, especially for the younger generation, I see it in my own son. They want to be informed about what's going on, and they take so much knowledge from the internet, particularly from YouTube. So if we're able to talk about what we do in our industry, and also change the rhetoric around that. As I said at TJI, I don't like the phrase private jet. I like business aviation because the connotation around private jet is so negative.
Absolutely.
And so actually business aviation, or in this case, regional air mobility, once people understand more of the concept and actually how business aviation and regional air mobility and in the case of fuel, sustainable aviation fuel SAF, is growing, and that progress, then I feel that I'd like to have a voice about that and actually speak up for our industry and change the negative connotation. So that's why I decided to do it. And you're one of the first, so because I really love what you're doing. So that's why I decided to do it. And you're in my home turf of Dubai.
I see. Talking about eVTOLs, let's say, let me a little bit take the initiative towards me.
Please.
And ask, what do you know about eVTOLs?
Oddly enough, not very much.
Okay. Then you are in good hands.
Exactly. It started for me last year. Around exactly this time last year, I was in the Netherlands visiting Electron Aviation, who are building out a concept around the regional air mobility as well. And I saw their mock-up. And it wasn't so much on the passenger side that I became very, very interested. It was actually more on cargo, because their aircraft then has a cargo door on it. And I thought, okay, we always talk about passengers. We're both in the business aviation passenger side, but the cargo utilization is massive. And if you think how much CO2 is being out just in the freight world, let alone in passenger. The utility for that, and also all-night operations where you'll be restricted in certain locations, it opens up a whole new dynamic. And so I've been following very slowly about regional air mobility and realized when I saw you also corporate jet investor recently that actually it's no longer what you imagine, Back to the Future with Doc Martin or the Jetsons, with the cars flying around, the cartoon. But we are on the cusp of a significant change to the way we move, that final mile. And that excites me.
I would say in general we're living in the pages of the history book right now. Talking about geopolitics and so on, but you're absolutely right. It's like we don't feel like it's a future. It's something which is happening now. That's the very important point, I would say. eVTOL basically getting more and more familiar and widespread worldwide. I mean, talking about Lilium, I would say in general, also let's make a short introduction of the jet.
Please.
It's basically a Germany-produced aircraft.
In Oberpfaffenhofen.
Correct. It's hard to, I'm still like mistaken, I'm sorry. But it is produced in Germany with the, let's say, engineering and the quality approach, let's say, with the high standard of safety and culture of the production. In general, right now in the company working about 1,000 people.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, and that's not like everyone has their own place to work, own task to do, and there is a lot of great team of engineering.
Yeah.
There are many people who used to work with the different companies like Airbus, Honeywell, Boeing, who came with the knowledge to work there. And basically there are 5 big hangars, headquarters, and there is a place where the production taking place, I would say.
Yeah.
Right now, there are 2 prototypes flying in Spain. This is 75% from the real aircraft.
Okay.
It's taken place in Spain because there are more sunny days, better, for the testing. And the important part of eVTOLs, because of transition. Transition is very sensitive point from the vertical to horizontal flight.
Okay.
With the Lilium, it has been confirmed the smooth transition when the engine goes from the, vertical.
The ailerons and the canards, these 30 electric motors.
The flaps, exactly. So this is very important step, but Lilium has been confirmed and also filmed. Some other producers, they don't, but they pretended to say they can make it.
They've done it.
They done it, correct. Then basically there are 2 aircraft right now in the production, MSN-01, MSN-02. Which is real aircraft, and the first flight is supposed to be this year. Okay. And in general, it's like 2 pair of wings with the 30 small jet-style engines.
Yeah, so it's electric jet engines.
Electric jet engines. So that's the difference between this is not a helicopter, electric helicopter. Let's call it like that.
There's a lot of misconception around that. Actually, people look at it as an electric helicopter.
Yes.
And there's one colleague I know who always referred to it as that, sort of jokingly. But it is a significant change with these 30 odd engines.
I would call it anyway. It's a different approach, different technology. Because by the end of the day, with Lilium, you fly like a jet.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
At what speed?
250 kilometers per hour.
Okay, so it's punchy.
It's quite fast. For example, you can get from Dubai downtown to Abu Dhabi in 20 minutes. Okay, that's very fast.
So it's looking around this 100 and according to the let's say 150 to 200 kilometer range.
175.
Okay.
With the, let's say,
but I wouldn't be wrong at 150 to 200 then based on
correct,
somewhere in the middle.
Correct. So this is the 4 packs. I mean, the maximum payload of 490 kilograms. So you have a lot of luggage to take. You can take a lot of luggage inside of the cabin and fly. Once you purchase it, let's say 3 years after the first delivery, which is 2029 approximately, it's scheduled also upgrade of the batteries to have 230 kilometers.
Okay, so there's more capacity will be come into Lilium
battery.
Based on battery technology improving over the next 4 to 5 years.
Yes, and basically has been a lot of upgrades already with the development of the technology, because the battery already has been made the first evolution and already improved the capacity and the capabilities of the aircraft.
Okay.
So if we're talking, that's first very it's full electrical vertical takeoff and landing jet, with the capability to charge within 1 hour. You got 100% battery ready to fly, and basically you can fly from Dubai you can cover each part of UAE.
And about the sort of the noise profile then of the Lilium Pioneer Jet, in terms of decibels under the button.
I think it's like 68, something like that, decibels, if I'm not mistaken correctly, because technical part, it's
Yes,
it's a decibels. I'm not the sound professional, but there is a full-scale simulator in Munich.
I've read about that they just opened up in May now, right?
And it was already in the production plant. There is two simulators. One is to fly.
Yeah.
By the way,
okay.
it's very handy. It's just two sticks, left and right, up and down.
This is what you had at eBay.
Yes, and the similar concept there is in the fabrics in Munich. So it's a similar style. You can fly, and it's quite easy. The beauty of it, you can maintain 0 ground speed. You can hover, and you see where you want to go. So
Okay.
it's a lot of fun. And I'm not a pilot, but on the simulator I flew from Burj Al Arab to DWC, and I landed safely.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was great about
So for
it.
all the aspiring pilots out there, could be a Lilium next.
I would say, but you can be a pilot of drone, pilot of jet, or pilot of helicopter, and then you can receive your type rating in facilities will be in Switzerland, in Zurich, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, and once you buy Lilium Jet, usually in your package included the pilot training.
And
So
is that for one or two?
it's
pilots?
one pilot.
One pilot. Okay.
One pilot, yeah.
And if
fly-by-wire
But
technology.
based on that, do they then anticipate a lot of owner pilots?
Well, it will be EASA certified, and with EASA restrictions, you have to be, let's say, commercial certified pilot for this. So,
Okay, so
you
you're
have your pilot, which can pilot for you the Lilium Jet.
Yeah.
I would say it's the beauty of it. It's the restrictions of the safety and EASA certification.
One of the highest in the world.
Yeah, redundancy level is 10-9. I mean, in case of engine, shutdown and so on, you have wings, so you can glide and land as a normal aircraft. This is just in case.
Sure.
But the beauty of it is really rigid regulations of EASA, and this provides better peace of mind compared to other producers, which is trying to shortcut different certification, or like say FIA just, or let's say nothing against but Chinese, which you need to double check, let's say, safety of it. That's a lot of, let's say, focus on the safety.
Right.
And as Lilium has received approval from EASA,
EASA certification for the design.
Yeah, exactly. And right now they recognize like OEM, like aircraft producer company.
So an original equipment manufacturer.
Yeah.
Lilium is classified as an OEM.
Correct.
Okay, on
so
their design.
it's not like startup with a few projects and so on. So that's very important to understand that solid background of the company. That's why ArcosJet decided to also invest the money.
That was one of my questions.
And buy first 10 aircraft, I would say.
So you will take 10 aircraft.
Already, I would say, purchased 10.
Yeah,
aircraft. Committed.
And
exactly.
your sales region is Middle East, Israel, Cyprus.
Correct.
And would you look to expand that region?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course, that's in the plans, but we can sell these 10 pieces to any customer worldwide, because this is one of the first, let's say, deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
So we have prospective customers not only in this region already who is interested in the jet, and this provides like a lot of benefits, I would say, because it's a new technology. It's been an avant-garde of the industry, and it's also, let's say, a green product.
Yeah,
that's
and a listed company, right?
Yeah, they're NASDAQ listed.
Yeah, they're NASDAQ listed
Yes,
as
exactly.
well. So the financial guidelines and reporting and so forth are very clear.
Reporting, also compliance and etc. That's a lot of benefits from this part from Lilium.
And then with the aircraft that will eventually come into the Middle East, I mean, how do you see, and Lilium talks about this, you're able to use traditional infrastructure in terms of, heliports, etc. So you would just need to build in the charging stations effectively for the 1 hour charging to get back to capacity. Do you foresee, the Middle East region being very pragmatic towards that and wanting to build the infrastructure to do it? I mean, you see a lot of helicopters flying around Dubai. and to Abu Dhabi and so forth. Those are predominantly tourist flights, government, police, and so forth. And now you see Air Chateau is doing some flying as well. Do you foresee it being quite easy in time? These are progressive things, but that they would be willing to do that?
I think regarding the local authorities, they're always interested, to support and to promote the new technologies. So in this case, we are lucky, and we are, let's say, a lot of things you can shortcut in good way and to, let's say, implement the new technologies in the region. The other thing that I think you and I feeling on a daily basis, I'm here like every 3-4 weeks now in Dubai, in UAE, and you're living now here. It's, let's say, a little bit, or sometimes you feel it's not a little bit, lack of the infrastructure development. I'm talking about traffic on the ground.
There's a lot of it, yeah.
That's a lot of it. Then we're talking about, let's say, regional mobility. Tell me about it's just a car, helicopter, and trains.
And the trains coming up between Dubai and Abu Dhabi and the other Emirates.
And that's all. So it's like very much underdeveloped. Then if you're talking about helicopters, there's a huge project which now ArcosJet investing with Air Chateau. With the developer.
I didn't realize that you were linked with Air Chateau.
Well, ArcosJet is investing in Air Chateau. Yeah,
okay.
So it will be, let's say, help definitely for the regional mobility.
Okay.
I would say, and helps for all our passengers coming to DWC and like to fly to downtown and etc. and store the aircraft or uses the facilities as FBO.
But that's more traditional to what we're used to. If you fly to Teterboro, you take the helicopter to go onto Manhattan. If you go into London, you fly to Battersea.
Correct.
It's very traditional use of the two.
Correct. The next step is to take Lilium instead of helicopter, because I would say back into the point of the plant in Munich. So there is a full-size simulator of the cabin experience, of the passenger experience with the noise. And the noise level, if you take Air 350 and you fly in forward cabin of Airbus Air 350, basically this is the level of noise you're receiving inside of the cabin.
And it's a longer cabin, I understand, than most executive helicopters.
It's not comparable. It's not right to compare to the helicopter. It's like compared to the jet, because when you go inside, you don't have any blades at all, so no vibration. It's safer and there is no noise. Many people been in our mock-up. Recently in eBase, it was full-size mock-up with the wings. In the Dubai show and in JetX, we used to stay for 2 weeks in JetX FBO here in the DWC.
I'm sorry I missed that.
Yeah, no worries. You'll see it next time. And it was also quite significant because, let's say symbolic, it was during the COP28. So many passengers who came to the COP, they have seen the mock-up.
Yeah.
And they felt it inside. So inside, basically, you can have 4 seats executive version or 6 seats, let's say commuter style, but still have a lot of space. It's larger than the cabin size, larger, for example, in Honda Jet or Phenom 100. Talking about the ceiling, it's very high. You can not stand, but you can move between the seats.
So the cabin cross section. Height versus width is very generous for the size of the aircraft.
Absolutely. And then let's say I'm not talking about the panoramic windows, but you can enjoy the view while you're flying.
Okay.
Talking about air mobility, I would say that's definitely designed for the regional air mobility. With this range, you can fly from here to Abu Dhabi, Al Ain, Ras Al Khaimah. The beauty of Lilium Jet, it's designed for the existing infrastructure. So you can land any helipad of today. The wingspan is less than 14 meters.
I saw that, yeah. It's not very...
it's not that huge.
The space, it doesn't take up the space as much. Yeah.
Correct. Well, once you take the stand in a MIBA show and they calculate in the wingspan, then you receive a good bill for that.
Yeah, of course.
That's you say, it could be small a little bit.
Could be worse than other OEMs.
Yeah. But in general, it's small and it can land on the yacht as well. So if you, for example, have your yacht somewhere and you need to fly like 20 minutes from your yacht today, your jet, that's also a great solution for that.
I forgot about the yachting purpose. And talking about that, and would the Lilium Pioneer Jet then be certified for over water operations?
It can fly right now about 20 minutes between point 1 to point B between the over water.
Okay, so
Yeah,
that is...
so it's quite enough with the speed of 250 kilometers.
Okay, because I wasn't sure, some if over water operations, it's a natural thing that you might
for
be
now
crossing.
it's like about 20 minutes from the
it
one
will be
point.
certified for that.
For this about the water flights, definitely. For this range for sure, maybe later it will be extended.
Due to the battery technology, potentially.
Exactly. And about the different, let's say, solutions. Definitely it could use as a, let's say, VIP commuter between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, which is you can make a fast turnaround because once you land, you can immediately charge. The batteries, they always kept in special Honeywell boxes, maintaining 24 degrees Celsius temperatures, which are ideal for the batteries.
Okay.
So once you land, you can immediately plug in.
So you don't need to wait for them to cool down?
No. Then in like maybe 30 minutes turnaround, or even 25 would be enough, to fly back to Abu Dhabi, for example.
Because you're not going to charge it full. I mean, I had a Tesla before. You were never ever charging it fully, only when you were doing long distance driving.
Ideally, it's like your iPhone or another phone, like you keep the battery about 80%.
Yeah.
And this provides the better, long lasting, like a phone optimized battery utilization. Exactly. So it could be also tourist side seating, for example, at the Palm, because we saw, for example, like if you go to Falcon Aviation, for example, helipad in the Palm, it's packed. It's packed with the tourists, and but if you recalculate the economics, because usually Lilium, it's like 4 times lower per flight hours direct operation costs compared to helicopter. Let's say, so like if you have 4 times lower costs, then you can have another economics behind it.
Helicopters are notoriously expensive to maintain, and also on insurance costs as well.
Insurance costs.
So there is quite a lot with that. But of course, when we talk about helicopters, there is at least infrastructure around in terms of maintenance support and so forth. So how will ArcosJet then support its customers? With Lilium, of course, the onus is fully on you.
We have to support it anyway.
How do you foresee, will they build out an OEM maintenance facilities in all the regions that you sell it out to? What does maintenance look like on this product? Because it is a very important point.
Absolutely. No, basically, in total, there are just 26,000 pieces in this aircraft.
Okay.
If you compare it to Airbus 320, there are 2 million pieces. So that's the moving parts. Except on this, it's only flaps with the engine in themselves, and also the landing gears. The rest is fixed. Okay. The opening doors.
Like a Tesla motor car or an electric car. I mean, you've gone
carbon fiber fuselage and aluminium, so there is no corrosion. By the way, the testing, on the latest stage of the testing certification, it will be also flights in the UAE here to provide the proof to operate in high temperatures and also the dust and sand. I would say
a big problem that some aircraft owners face here as well is if the aircraft is not in a hangar for a period of time, with the dust, the high temperature and humidity. It's a recipe for corrosion.
So in this case, we don't have any corrosion because it's like carbon fiber and aluminum fuselage. So that's a great thing of it. Once you purchase Lilium Jet, usually it's like Pioneer Edition, it comes with 5 years full support from Lilium.
Okay.
So you receive the maintenance, warranty, charging stations, 2 charging stations. So you receive one, for example, at your estate, where you would like to fly usually, and the second will be, for example, in your vertiport, where you're usually based. So it's something which very handy to do.
Wow.
And then you have warranty on the battery and upgrades with the battery. So once you purchase it, next battery, next generation will be within 3 years of the first deliveries in 2026. So you receive it also included in your package.
So the 2029 battery that you were talking about earlier on, you would get we included in the package that upgrades.
if you buy with this package.
It's correct. With that package.
Then if you need to replace the battery, it's overnight job of 2 technicians. Within overnight, they change the batteries completely. So it's very easy.
Wow.
Then Lilium working with Lufthansa techniques for the shipment and logistics of the all maintenance spare parts. Will be available worldwide within 24 hours response.
So full AOG support, effectively using the Lufthansa network.
Yes, exactly. So that's very important, I would say, in terms of maintenance. So once you buy it, you don't stuck with the new product. So it will be, let's say, more focused about, let's say, after selling, process. And that's, I think, it's a more crucial for people, how to, let's say, Lilium and ArcosJet would support. Plus, simulators. Simulator
for training, a big thing.
Exactly, and I think for our, let's say, big buyers who will buy, let's say, significant number of aircraft.
Fleet owners, operators.
We can support and bring the, let's say, in-house simulator for the pilots, and then talking about, let's say, the maintenance. What else?
Those are all the important things, and people think it's just buying an aircraft. And when I sit and discuss in Virtus aircraft trading with potential aircraft owners, people always just look at that one element, which is, I get on the airplane, I turn right, and I go do my business. But it's everything surrounding it that is also really important to consider, because that's when it gets expensive. If you have to keep sending your crew on training to different parts of the world, airline tickets, hotels, so forth. If you can only maintain your aircraft in a certain location, well, you don't have the range to fly long distances to go for maintenance. And maintenance is really, really important that it's done locally. And with spare parts, and that's what I always tell people to think about. The headline number might look cheap over here, but you're going to pay for it over here.
Yeah, so that's important, but we are also, Lilium and us, thinking about this solution. So once you buy, you got, let's say, full coverage for the next 5 years of the, let's say, full support. Then back to the questions about the infrastructure. Any vertiport, any helipad you can use right now for the operations of Lilium. In airports as well, any landing pad or plane space, basically. The only thing you need is a charger station, but it's quite easy to, let's say, install. We are talking right now with the few FBOs here already in the area for the, let's say, installment of the charging station. So once the first deliveries will start, it will be ready the chain of the charging stations here for people to use. And once again, back to your questions, because we are about, let's say, utilization, private usage, let's say commuter or VIP commuter.
I was just thinking about the Maldives when you said this a few minutes ago. Using the seaplanes to take people obviously
it's another point.
From Male to go to the resorts. Well, actually, that's
it's much cheaper, greener, especially for the example sensitive part of the nature and nature protection in Maldives, I would say, because it is a classical engine pollution and etc. With the Lilium, I'm not a pilot, but in general perception, and it's also would be the same thing. Imagine you go the helicopter, you have to go down, and then to enter the helicopter, it's vibration, noise, and you're enjoying the view, enjoying the ride, but it's like kind of, let's say, not the smoothest flight you would like to have. Once you go to, for example, any jet, it's a very smooth. So imagine you can fly like a jet, but take off and land like a helicopter. Vertically, and then it's like a fun of electric car, which like provides you 3D, freedom. But still, it's an airplane with the restricted and not restricted, very strict, safety measures and regulations. So means it will provide 3D, smooth mobility.
In a controlled environment with air traffic controllers, all of those things. It's not that everyone can just get into an Lilium and go flying.
No one want to have a METS in the airspace.
And in an airspace that is as busy as Dubai, with it all moving to Al Maktoum within the next decade as well. You imagine more and more people coming here, you need to have it quite controlled.
And in this case, Lilium would be a great solution to fly from, for example, DWC towards the downtown.
Yes, because it is a sizable distance more.
It's quite long.
But as Dubai moves more towards the south, towards Abu Dhabi, as the city grows. And two questions from my side, which I'm curious about. One, will there be a cargo version of that? So they're going to build out a.
It's possible to use it as a cargo as well.
So they'll put a cargo door.
The door is the same, but just inside it they have a plain space for the cargo. But it's feasible.
quite a wide door. I've not seen the mock-up.
Yeah,
So.
well, it's like usual. I don't know if you take Learjet door.
Okay.
It's like usual size of Learjet, but you can also have, let's say, stretcher to put inside of the Medivac. It's little bit now with the not approvals, but simulation with the different parts of
You're
the
trying
medical
to get
equipment.
one going now, which is the passenger version, and then you can build that variation.
I think it's more sexier part of the passenger's executive version. Also.
Sure, but I mean, and again, we didn't even touch on Medivac. When I did my tour of West Africa recently, that was the.
You did a lot of trial.
Yeah, there was the number one thing when I met aircraft owners and charter customers of mine. The number one thing that they were asking about was Medivac, because in the region, in let's say in Ghana, you have a lot of mines. Gold mines, right? And so if there's an emergency or so forth, it's either by road or of course by air ambulance. But the issue is there's not a lot of air ambulances available.
And there's no any runway at all.
And not a lot of runways. So I mean, that application of using that technology towards life-saving and even between regional hospitals, if you have a neonatal situation or
we also speaking about the organ transportation, which is crucial, and it's like we did the transactions in ArcosJet with the Medivac aircraft, and this is
the Lilium 45s, if I remember.
and also Layer 40, for example, we sold in Italy. It's also something like it's important for
organ transport.
Yeah, organ transport, and as well as like say for the let's say in general medical industry, I would say. So business aviation industry helps a lot for the medical and health protection, which is important to mention, I would say. Once people go to protest about let's say private jets, they're protesting about the business aviation industry, which contribute a lot to the society, I would say. Not talking about let's say GDP contribution and also the working spaces for people, which is a massive
100%. Yeah. It's funny.
I think it's important to educate.
It is, and I mean that was the point of these videos as well, as I said to you, and thank you for asking. That is it. Our industry is so much broader than people give it credit for.
Absolutely.
But people don't want to hear the other benefits of it because it's easier.
Like other geopolitical things today.
Correct. It's a difficult one. My second question was have you spent much time in Saudi Arabia as well now promoting the product?
Well,
because I imagine in the kingdom. Also with all of the projects that they're doing with NEOM, with the Red Sea resorts and so forth, this could also be a wonderful way to bring people to these destinations ecologically.
I would say let's see who's gonna be first to delivery of this, let's say, local competition. Who will, let's say, have received the deliveries, let's say, faster. Here or in UAE or in Saudi and the Kingdom. So let's see.
There's a little bit of a competition going on.
Yes. Well, let's see that.
Everybody wants to be the first.
Yeah, so. I hope so. So let's see who's in this raffle.
And there's some sort of closing remarks on it, because we want to keep people super motivated and want to know lots more from Yuri about it. From ArcosJet side and Mikhail, I mean, obviously he's done a lot of investments in the aviation side, and ArcosJet has always had a great name in the industry. And I understand, if he doesn't mind me saying, that he's also involved now with Cyprus Airways as well. So there's this great love for aviation of both helicopters in the traditional sense, eVTOLs, traditional aircraft brokerage in terms of sales, and airline now as well.
Well, Misha, I would say it's like very special character, because he loves the things he does, as all of us. Passion, of course. Then he very much involved in every, let's say, his employer and colleagues and a team member, let's say, on his, let's say, things, and very supportive for many things. He has a very broad mind, I would say, and vision, because sometimes we are on our daily routine things, and he, let's say, one head is good, two heads is better, and when it's three heads of the team members, it's even better. But he has his, let's say, vision towards the future. That's why I would say Lilium was one of the things, let's say, let's move with the Lilium forward. So that's different, definitely.
A pioneer in that sense.
Pioneer very much.
And then the nice thing is for Arcos, I suppose, now that it really broadens the interest in the company from outside as well, because there's so many, so many eyes looking in positively in wonderful things that you're doing.
Thank you.
You know, that's why I wanted to have this.
No, I mean, in Arcos, we are really happy to support our customers and looking for to have more deals with the colleagues from the industry, and we are transparent, we are open, and we are, let's say, sometimes happy to, let's say, non-standard approach to the things sometimes, and that's what leads us, you know, towards the future. But the
success leads you to success.
The recipe is, you know, it's classical. You have to work hard.
Yeah, there's that famous saying, you know, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yes.
So,
but we enjoy the
that's
process. That's most important, and we are looking forward, you know, to show you the flights of Lilium here in UAE, between the first passengers and customers, and of course owners.
No, thank you. And thank you for your time. I realize it's Eid holidays, but you've got your meeting set up anyway.
For a lot of pleasure.
And I'd like us to keep maybe doing some little snippets as the development goes to keep people informed about the Lilium Pioneer Jets and what you're doing.
Let's think maybe we can organize some, you know, trip to the production plant in Munich, and we can.
In where exactly in Munich? In Oberpfaffenhofen.
Oh, correct. correct. Thank you, Jeff, for that.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me here in the office. And
subscribe to the channel.
Yes, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching Jets of Jeff. And let's have a good day. Thank you very much.